Hello there, folks. Welcome back to another box opening video here. This time, of course, we're doing the new one-piece set that just released today, Pillars of Strength. We've got our friend Lucas here to help us out.
Hello, everyone.
All right, so without any further ado, I guess we'll just get right into it. We're going to be cracking open a couple of boxes here.
All right.
I love how the cards feel. I really like the card stock in the One Piece
pretty
game.
thick. All right, so we have a Charlotte Chiffon, Jabra, Fiery Doll, Annie's Lobby, Bobbin the Disposer, Boodle, Tempest Kick Slicer, Shirahoshi. It's our first rare Blue and O, and our first super rare Krieg.
Very cool. And of course, the Dawn card comes with every pack.
Yes.
All the cards you see today, of course, will be on our website, exorgames.com.
Definitely. If you see anything that you want, definitely go check it out. There will be quite a bit of singles. That's our first leader card. Those come randomly in every pack. Usually you're supposed to get one of each leader in a box, but sometimes stuff happens and you get a double. So nothing crazy in that pack. Just some rare.
So can you just quickly go through the rarities of the One Piece game?
Yeah, so we have the normal rares, which have a light foil. There is super rares, which have a silver lining across the border. Then there's alternate arts, which are pretty much just like parallel versions of super rares and normal rares. But then you also have alternate art leaders, which are most of the time the most expensive stuff in the set, because you always play those in every deck because you have to have a leader. And then there's the most elusive rarity, which is the manga rare, which has a manga art in the background, and those usually go for a lot of money. So that's usually the chase card in every set.
Right on. What's the, is there multiple characters of that chase card variety, or is it just one single one we should be looking out for?
In every set, there's just one manga card, but it usually changes every set to a different one. This set, it's Usopp. It's a blue card. I'm not sure if it's played in the newer decks yet, but I think it will definitely be a pretty expensive one soon enough.
Now, I'm seeing also in a few of these packs you're opening two rares. Is that the norm?
It is the norm.
Oh, that is awesome.
The packs are usually a little more expensive than Magic, so they fix that up with giving you two rares, so double the chance of getting something really cool. And usually you get 7 super rares per box, and then every box you also get an alternate Dawn card, which is your mana source in this game. That's another leader. You have normal leaders, which have one color, but then there's sometimes you have leaders that are dual colored, like this one, but usually there's a drawback because it has less life, which is pretty much your way of living in the game. And if you run out of life, then you're pretty much the loser.
Does it have a prize card structure similar to that of what would be Pokemon?
Yeah, so that would be the most similar thing. The life cards do kind of act as the prize cards, so each time you hit your opponent, if they don't block it or make your leader more powerful, pretty much you have to take a life card, and if you get the 0 life cards and they hit you one more time, then the opponent wins. So you try your very hardest to not let that happen. There's another super rare here,
right
Charlotte
on.
Lin. That's definitely going to be a staple in yellow decks. Yellow is the new color in this set, so that's pretty exciting. They get a whole new archetype to build around.
Yeah, it's strange to see, you know, what's this, the third set?
Yep.
Then they've already added a color, which is kind of cool.
I think this will be the final color though, because as you can see on the bottom left, there's kind of a color pie, and there's only 6 little slots in that color pie.
That would make sense.
So I think this will be the last color that they introduce. But there's infinite possibilities with what colors kind of merge together. Like you can have a yellow black leader, you can have a green black leader. It's just whatever they want to make.
You got to respect the art too. You know, it's been a long-running manga series for a very long time for a reason. They got good characters, and the art definitely makes an impact for sure.
The art is definitely pretty nice on the cards. Sometimes it falls short because they just take snippets of the show or the manga, but a lot of times it really does look very good, especially on the alternate art cards that are textured.
Now, explain deck building for those folks at home who don't quite know the game. Do they all have to be one color, or...?
So whatever your leader's color is, you kind of have to build it around that. So if you have a leader that is green, you can only play green cards. If there's a dual color leader, you can play both of the colors. But as I said before, you'll get less life cards, which means that you'll be able to lose quicker. But a lot of times you get a lot more stuff to build around, which means you have a lot more power on the board than your opponent. You have 50 card decks in this game, which is different than most other card games that have 60. But I would say the reason for that is because you have to have a 10 card Dawn deck, which, as I said before, is your land or your mana, which kind of substitutes to make it 60. And then you have your leader, which pretty much tops it off at 61. Your leader isn't really included in the 50. So yeah, you kind of just have to build it like that.
So it's an interesting kind of take, almost a Magic's Commander.
Yeah, you just have pretty much a thing you build around, a sort of theme that you think of, and you can make some pretty good decks.
Oh, there's another one.
So that's another super rare. Some of the super rares sometimes look like alternate arts, because a lot of alternate arts make it so it's borderless. This one, the art's going into the borders, so a lot of people would mistake it for a secret rare. But right now, that is just another super rare. But still a very cool art.
And the Dawn deck, so that's separate from your deck, so there's no worrying about having to draw your Dawn, say, you know, in regards to Magic, of course. Not getting enough lands or anything can really turn games into non-games. So I really like what One Piece does with the side Dawn deck, which means you'll always have at least a chance to cast your cards.
Yeah, I do really like that, so you never get any games where you can't really do anything. Most of the time you are able to at least impact the game a little, because you always have something to attack your opponent with, because you have your leader. But yeah, just having a mana source that you never have to rely on your deck on is really, really nice. Let's see if we can get an alternate art soon. Flame Emperor and just a normal rare. Saving it for the end. I'd say we're around halfway through.
The foiling's really nice, even on just the standard rares.
Yeah, the foiling is pretty nice. I especially like the event cards that have a gold border. Those look really, really cool. Alright. And also in this game, unlike Magic, you can't just block with anything. You have to block with something that has blocker as a type on the bottom here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's not an alternate art, but that's called a SEC card, SEC, which is kind of like a gold card in Pokemon. So this would be the normal version of the manga card. So this card has a manga version, which, as I said before, is going to be really sought after. And I think this one's going to see a lot of play in blue decks coming forward. That's a really cool pull there.
Yeah, that the moment it flashed, it was like, okay, yeah, that's a cool one.
That's the one. Yep. Usually boxes have around 2 or 3 alternate arts or gold cards, so we should see at least one more cool card, and then we still have 4 super rares that we can see. And that's just another Another event card, and there's the alternate Dawn.
Oh, very cool.
So it's just a fancier version of the Dawn, kind of like full art lands and Magic. Each set has a new one, and there's always guaranteed one per box. So you can always count on a box to get another Dawn that you can deck your deck out with, which is super duper cool. But then you can also get tournament Dawns, which are even more special because you have to participate in the event to get them. Usually those are like gold text or black background. It's usually pretty cool with those ones.
For the pile that's here, is there uncommon and common cards, or is it just common cards and then the different rarities?
It's kind of hard to tell, but yes, there is commons and uncommons, sorry. Uncommons, obviously you see a lot less than commons, and in some of the sets that I've opened like 3 boxes in, I don't even have a play set of an uncommon. Sometimes you just really do not see them in a box. Not every uncommon is played in decks though. Obviously there's a meta game, just like other card games, but you can definitely still play any card in your deck, and it should work if you fit the theme.
That one's pretty cool right there.
That is another super rare. That one will be definitely played in black going forward. So that's our 4th super rare. Looks pretty good.
And to play in organized tournaments, you can use cards of any of the 3 sets that have been released so far?
So far, it's not confirmed yet, but what I think, on the bottom right of the card, there's a Devil Fruit, which is in the show, their kind of power. It has a 1 on it. There's been leaks of the 5th set, and you can see the cards have a 2 on the Devil Fruit. So I think they're going to make it so there is a rotation eventually.
Oh, fantastic.
But until the 5th set, there will be just all the cards in play, I think, at least. That's another leader, rare, and another rare. I do like rotation because it spices up the game every now and then. If you don't have a rotation, eventually it just won't become very fun. So yeah, I definitely do like rotation because you can always play with new cards and spice up your decks than being the same all the time. Let's see what we got in this pack. We have another leader. That is going to replace the last black leader that was in the last set that was seen play. And we have another event card with the gold border. Near in the end on this one, you should see an alternate art very, very soon. And we even have another box to come, so lots of polls will be up on the website.
We're doing pretty good for time here too, so that's awesome. Yeah, I just want more people to know and understand the game because it is a very, very cool game with a lot of lore, a lot of history written behind it. Yeah, and it's definitely a cool one to sit down with your friends or go to your local game store, such as here at Exor Games, and come and play. We do have One Piece games here every Thursday.
Indeed. I will be there every Thursday to come and see what's up. Pretty fun times the game is. It's definitely very fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Alright. Oh, that's one we have not seen yet. That's Span Them. That's a searcher where you look at the top 5 and you see, not top 5 in this one, top 3, and you get a specific card. And we have another.
Ooh, that's cool.
Super rare. Very ominous stance that he is showing. He gets Rush if you do his ability, which pretty much in Magic terms is haste. So he can swing the turn it comes in. Very, very cool card.
I know they probably try their best to make the colors balanced, but as a player yourself, what would you say is the most powerful color currently?
Red by far. Red is definitely the top of the decks right now. The best leader in my opinion would be Zoro. He's just been dominant in every set. He was released in set 1, and he pretty much just works with anything, cool. And is just really, really solid. We do have another super rare, Usopp. So we should have one more that we'll see. But yeah, red is very dominant. I would say the least amount of color that I see would be purple. Purple isn't very popular, mainly just because it isn't that great. It's very slow. It's more of a rampy color. Like in Magic, green is ramp, but in this game I would say purple is. You get a lot of your Dawn out on the field quickly, and then try and play super big things and really just try and swing at your opponent. But red, I would definitely say, is the best so far, and that is our other
that is
alternate
nice
art. You can see on it, it's, I don't know if you see on the camera, but it is textured.
Here, lift it up just a
up.
little bit to the
Okay.
camera there, yeah.
You can see that it is textured.
Oh yeah, that's
There's
cool.
Special foiling on some parts of the card. And yeah, that one is actually, that's a pretty good example. I'll move this over a little. We got a super rare earlier called Charlotte Cracker. That's actually the same card, but this one is the alternate, and that's the normal version. So yeah, very, very cool. I love the alternate arts in this game, and usually most of them definitely have a little bit of value, even if they're not played.
Load you up for the next box here while you're doing your pulls.
2 packs left on this box. We might see another alternate art, but we will definitely see at least one more super rare, I think, at least.
And if any of these super rares tickle your fancy, make sure to check out exorgames.com. They will likely go pretty quickly. Oh,
That's our last super rare. He is very good in red. Just the ability to, his second ability, when he gets killed, you can bring him back from the discard if you trash something from your hand, which pretty much just means discard. So he will definitely be a staple in the red decks, I would say, coming forward. So that is our last super rare, and we'll see in this last pack if we get an alternate art or if we don't. But so far this box has been pretty solid.
Yeah, a nice mix of things for sure.
Yep. You get a lot of stuff in a box where you can really just buy a box and you'll already have a bunch of upgrades for really any color, because as you can see is a lot of diversity in the colors in the packs. We got Khalifa and just a normal rare. So we'll start off the next box.
Yeah, I'll move the
the
pile
bulk.
right here.
Yep.
There we go.
Brand new box here, so we can see any sort of things that we could come from this. There should be another Dawn card, 7 more super rares, a lot of stuff. Move this to the side a little. So that is a leader we've seen before. Again, since we started a new box, we will start seeing duplicates. Just some normal rares there though.
Purple. Purple was the one that was evading me. I was looking at the colors here, and I'm like, all right, I count 5. Which one are we missing again? Oh, yeah.
No purple in those super rares, actually. I would say the color that has a lot of cards in this set would be yellow, because it is the new color, and I'd say they're trying to introduce it a lot, so people start making new decks with it. The leader that I think will be the best with yellow will be Katakuri. He has a really good ability and really just kind of controls your opponent very well. So we saw him before. That's our first super rare, so we have 2 of those now. A very good card.
Yeah, I'd imagine every color has its own uniqueness, like you were saying, with the ramp and everything like that. Question there. I've played a few games of it, and so there is a way to play more than 2 Dawn cards a turn?
Yep.
As long as it's within an ability of that color?
So every turn you set 2 Dawns, obviously. That's just what happens on your upkeep. But there is cards mainly in purple that you can ramp your cards and get a lot of Dawn out before your opponent, which gives you a very, very big advantage.
Well, that's cool.
That's another Krieg that we got earlier. Again, that will be a card in green that is played, I would say. So very good to get that one.
So how long have you been playing the game? Was it when it first came out you were kind of hooked, or?
I started playing the game pretty much when the first set came out. I was looking forward to it because I read the manga and I've watched the show a little. So when it came out in November, I was pretty into it. Got a lot of the boxes and I really, really enjoyed the game. So yeah, I mean, it's just a really, really solid game. The art's really cool. And, oh, well, there's our other Don. So we have 2 of those now. But yeah, the game is just really, really fun. Usually the games take a little longer than other games. In the competitive tournaments, it's not best of 3, it's actually only best of 1. Because usually the games can go on for upwards to an hour because there's just so much interaction with your opponent. Because you can swing into their characters if they are tapped. So there's a lot of counterplay with playing cards and also attacking their characters, so you're not just attacking their leader. There's another event card.
Yeah, it's funny. I think the new upcoming game, that Disney Lorcana, it does something similar where if an opponent's creature or monster, what have you, is tapped, you're able to attack straight at it. So I wonder if they took that idea from this game.
It is definitely something that has been a thing before. If I'm not wrong, it was in Yu-Gi-Oh! When I played it very, very long ago. I haven't played it in a while, but that isn't a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that you can do, and it also took some implements from Force of Will. I don't know if people have heard of that game, but it's definitely one that's not as popular anymore. So that's another alt art, pretty cool. You can see that there's special foiling on the kind of like surprise reaction that he has, and also the snot that's coming out of his mouth is foiled. Yeah, so that's definitely a cool one there.
Yeah, the camera caught that pretty well.
Yeah. We had him in this pile. So as I said, there's a lot of alt arts because you can get alt arts from the super rare slot, and you can also get alt arts from the regular rare slot. So there's a lot of different things that you can pull in your box. Obviously, some will be better than others, whether it's expensive or whether it's played in a deck that you want to build. Sometimes you might not get what you want, but that happens with a lot of stuff. So we have another leader. This one's cool because when in this game, and a lot of games, you have, when you take all your cards from your deck, you'll lose. But with this leader, if your deck is reduced to 0, you win the game instead of losing. So that whole strategy there is to kind of ignore your opponent and do a lot of blockers and try and wall them off from your life so that you can just win without attacking them.
Always good to have alternate win conditions. It definitely makes a game a lot more diverse.
Yep, makes it more spicy to just not have one main goal, to just be always swinging at their life. Guaranteed there'll be most likely more win cons once the game kind of has more sets. There's the first rare, and we have another Rob Lucci super rare. So we've been kind of, I don't think we've gotten a different super rare so far this box. I think there's more than that, but we will see.
And it goes without saying that these numbers, of course, in the top left, they are considered the casting cost, the amount of Dawn you have to express to be able to cast them out.
Yep, the top left is the cost of the card. The top right is the power of the card. On the left, there is counter, which pretty much means if your opponent attacks into a character or a leader, you can put those cards from your hand into the trash and buff it so it doesn't die. Or you don't have to take life cards if you counter. There's counters that are event cards, or there's counters that are just on the side. Stuff like this, counter 2000 is a lot better than counter 1000, so some decks play cards solely for the purpose of it being 2000. There is another super rare there, another Charlotte Linlin. That'll definitely be a good one in yellow. But yeah, it's
10 cost. That's pretty hefty, though.
It's definitely a top ender, but it is pretty game ending because you can just add a life card. You can pretty much replenish your life with the ability.
Extend the game.
Extend the game even longer, and then now you have a 12,000 power card on your field, which is very, very, very menacing. We'll see here. I should be seeing another alternate art soon, hopefully. That will be a good one.
Yeah, man, Exor. Yeah, my son recently just got into watching the anime, and I did not realize just how many episodes
There's quite a bit of episodes, but that does mean for the card game that they have infinite supply of stuff they can make. There's characters like Luffy that have a blue version, and he has a purple version, he has a red version. So they'll have the same character, but also just on a different artwork or type of color. That's another alternate art there. That's Usopp, just like our super rare right there. Foiling again in specific spots, and then there's some texture on the
Bring it back
rays
just a little bit.
beam.
Yeah, there you go. That's great.
That one's definitely a cool one. We got 3 so far, so I would say there will still be at least one more alternate art in the box, and we will still have some super rares that we can get. But there is quite a bit of episodes. It's sometimes a little intimidating to
just start to get
into the show. So that's why I definitely like reading the manga, which we do have at Exor Games. The manga takes a lot less time if you do like reading, because, you know, you're reading, it goes a lot faster than watching a 20-minute episode. So that is another gold card, just like
that looks nice.
Soga King right here. The texture is really crazy on that one. He's doing like a fist slashing the card. It's really cool, that one. That's definitely going to be a good one in yellow. He is the leader. He's one of the leaders in yellow. I can grab it here from our pile. Right here, Katakuri. But again, that's the leader version and that's the character version. So sometimes you have stuff like that where it might be a little confusing for someone just getting into the game, where they see a leader, but then they also see a super rare being the same card.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So hopefully we get to see another super rare here soon. Maybe a Marco would be cool. It's another event card, and Estruzen.
So the event cards, are they based on story plots of the show, or sorry, the manga, or?
I mean, a lot of the events are like kind of action scenes from like a move. Like this one is from Ace. He's a character in the manga, which is actually a leader in this set. He's doing in this art Crossfire, which is just one of his moves that he does. So a lot of the event cards are, as you said, events from the show that happen, whether it's a move or whether it's just kind of like a sentimental moment from the show. Then you also have stage cards, which are kind of like stadiums in Pokemon. Those, so far in the game, you cannot remove them, but I am pretty sure that there will be removal sooner or later for them, because there are some stage cards that are pretty broken. So that's another Charlotte Cracker that we have got there.
So I've noticed there's been a few cards that start with the Charlotte. Is that their pirate's name, or?
I'm not too sure. I know I'm the One Piece guy, but I actually don't know. I think that might be maybe their family name or their crew. But yeah, there is certain arcs in the show, kind of like special, not special, but like story arcs that happen in the show, and usually focuses around one main idea or one main villain that the crew, the Straw Hat crew, tries to face so that they can save the town or get to their next location. So I would say it's probably the family name of them. And that name is mostly in yellow, just like Charlotte Galette, I guess. The yellow is a life gang in One Piece, kind of like Magic. It's not yellow in Magic, it's white. But there is a lot of cards, or not cards, colors that are very similar to Magic. Because it's just kind of like a thing that you would imagine. Like blue is kind of, in Magic it's control-y, but it also card draw in Magic, and in this game it does a lot of card draw with blue. As I said, yellow is life gang. Red is very aggro, you know, you swing a lot just like Magic. Green is actually the more control-y type of color. It taps down a lot of your characters, and then it also has cards where it KOs the card if it's rested, like tapped, as I said. And purple is very, very rampy.
All right, looks like we've got about 8 or so packs to go.
We're nearing the end.
Possibly another alt art
Possibly.
hiding in there.
Might be, but I would say there's definitely another super rare at least. And there is, as I say, rares that are very, very good in decks, staples even, and sometimes those are pretty expensive just because they're played in every single deck in that color. With this set also comes the new starter deck, starter deck 7 if I'm not wrong. It focuses around Big Mom.
Big Mom!
It is a yellow starter deck, and we do have those in stock, a bunch of them. So if you are interested in getting another starter deck or another deck, and you can even upgrade it with some of the cards that we opened, then definitely come down and get one.
Yeah, the starter decks are built fairly strong too, with it being such a new game.
Yeah, the starter decks are pretty solid. Obviously, some of the starter decks will be a little not as good as some of the other starter decks, but even if you just pick up a starter deck, it will be very solid. One thing I do recommend is getting 2 starter decks. It might seem a little weird, but some cards only come in 2, and most of the time those are the cards that are really the best. So if you combine 2 starter decks into one, it'll be a really, really solid deck that you can play.
Much like they do with a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh starter decks. A lot of people buy 3 of those.
Yep. Similar company, Bandai. So I would say they're probably making it similar.
Yeah, it's really cool getting to watch a break of this. Of course, I've seen the cards and I've seen the packs and everything, but haven't seen a mass opening like this. So I hope this gets folks excited, like it is me.
Yeah, a lot of really cool cards in this set that will really change the meta and how you build your decks, because it adds a lot of stuff and it even adds a whole new color, as I was saying. So that's the Spandom, the normal art of Spandom, of this alternate art. Obviously the alternate art will usually always be cooler because, well
yeah, it's got glowy snot.
all textured and glowy.
All right.
Three more packs.
3 packs to go. Once again, exorgames.com, your place for all of these singles that you're seeing here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are local, you can just pop on down and we'll have them in our system and you can just request them and our card processing department will be more than happy to fulfill your order.
Definitely.
Oh, there we go.
There's another super rare. There is a Marco. Very, very good one to pull from a box. Just a really, really good ability. And usually there's been another Marco card that was printed before in the second set that was also pretty dominant in the meta. And this one, it seems, will be the same because it is played in the best deck right now just because it's very, very good in the deck and it works very well. That's another leader card, Django, and another event.
All right, last pack.
Last pack. We'll see if we can get everything.
Thank you to everyone for watching and sticking around for the last pack here. And yeah, we've seen some pretty cool new cards. And of course, with the new set means a whole new meta. And it's a great time to get in. It's basically the bottom floor still. Only 3 sets have ever been released. So
yeah, so you'll be able to learn the game pretty well. And you'll be able to really understand how the game works without being too overwhelmed by a bunch of sets. It's very, very easy to get into. A lot of product is now coming in. So yeah, you should definitely check it out. So that is our last card. We did get pretty lucky on the last one.
Oh, we did get another one. Yeah.
That is another super rare. So as I said, 7 super rares per box, and we did get 7 per box. That was very, very good.
That's unreal. Yeah, and how many liters did we get out of the 2 boxes?
I'd say 12.
16!
16
liters, which is great.
If you're looking for leaders and looking for a new deck, very, very good to come check it out. A lot of staples that we pulled today in super rares, alternate arts, and regular rares. So yeah, come check it out.
Excellent. All right, and with that, we all thank you, and we will see you next time.
See you.